It's you and
How's it going, guys? Public Safety Network here. I decided today I was going to do a video on duty holsters. Duty holsters are probably one of the most important pieces of equipment you carry when you are armed. They can mean the difference between having your weapon stolen and shot and killed with your own weapon, or being able to retain that weapon and use it in order to save your own life. And so we're going to kind of today discuss different types of holsters, different situations where you may use holsters, and then kind of deciding maybe how to gauge what your best options are. Now, to the left right here, we have this piece of crap nylon holster that you can get at Walmart for $10, $15. They're pretty much a one-size-fits-most gun. This should never be an option, guys. The only reason I have this is because I used it for a costume that I was making for Halloween. But this right here should never be an option. I should never see a security guard carrying one of these. I understand that not all of us have the money for this option right here, but there are plenty of alternatives to spending $15 to get this kind of holster. This kind of holster is going to get your weapon taken. And trust me, if it's not used on you and it's taken and they steal it from you, it's not a fun thing to have to explain why your weapon was stolen because it wasn't secured in a proper holster. You know, it's not only that, now your weapon's on the street with some criminal, but also you're embarrassed to the fact that you had your weapon taken because you couldn't fork out the money to spend on a proper holster. And normally in the middle here, I'd have actually a Blackhawk Serpa holster that I have, but I loaned it out to somebody, so I don't have it right now. Most people who know anything about firearms know what a Blackhawk Serpa is. I can tell you guys, I don't recommend this for a carry when you're wearing a full duty belt. That's actually where this one kind of comes in. I think there are situations where a Serpa can make sense. One of them being the range. I wear mine to the range a lot because a lot of times I'll just wear it with my extra magazines, and it just makes things a lot easier for transport. And so that's a scenario I could see where having a Blackhawk Serpa would make sense. The second scenario is I've worked details where I wear maybe a black polo shirt, some tactical pants, and some boots or some BDU style pants, and just a normal belt. And it makes sense because you can just clip it onto your belt and then wear your magazines on the other side. And that makes a little more sense to why you would use it in a scenario like that, because you're not wearing a full duty belt. But I can tell you guys, Blackhawk Serpas are not designed, at least the level 2 ones. I've seen more of the duty models, which are like level 3 and so, that may work in that scenario. But the one that I have, the Serpa Sport, is not designed for that. Blackhawk makes an okay duty holster when you get to like the level 3 models, but again, it wouldn't be my primary choice. And then this is the option that I use. This is what a lot of the guys use, or similar models. This is the Safariland 6280 model. It is Kydex. It has the rotating hood and the suede inner lining right here. It has the retention screw down here, and then it also has the light attachment, usually used for the X300 models, and I believe the TRL1 series. And so that's what you're generally going to get with these. As much as I know Safariland isn't the only option, there are plenty of other companies that are kind of starting to close the gap between themselves and Safariland. Blackhawk's one of them, Blade Tech, and there's a few other companies out there that are starting to develop more high-quality holsters. I can tell you guys for a fact that Safariland still is the standard the industry has. They have hundreds of options for dozens and dozens of firearms. This right here is probably, if you carry maybe a more obscure duty weapon, and we're actually going to do a separate video on duty weapons, they will probably be your best bet to find a holster for it. And in that video, we're going to talk about how your choice of firearms for duty carry, one of the factors is accessory availability. But I can tell you right now that I've had multiple Safarilands throughout the last probably 5 or 6 years. I've had just the rotating hood. I've had rotating hood with automatic locking system. I've had rotating hood and sentry lock system. I think the only one I've never carried is strictly the automatic locking system. I don't think I've ever carried those, but I know plenty of guys who do, and they love it, and that's kind of their shtick. So those are kind of some points I made today, guys, and I'm going to leave you with a little bit of wisdom that I've kind of gained, especially if you're just starting out. When you get started in this industry, whether it's armed, unarmed, and I highly recommend if you've never worked security before, unless you have some prior training, like maybe your prior military or prior law enforcement, you know, then the gap isn't really that great for you. Just kind of learning to deal with not having as much authority as you did before. I would not recommend jumping into armed security right away. Start out unarmed, learn, you know, the legals behind it, learn how to do the things that security does, and then maybe down the line, you know, if you feel like you want the responsibility, if you can handle the responsibility, and not just so you can carry a gun, but you do it for the right reasons, then maybe think about getting armed down the line. But where I was going with this is, if you cannot provide yourself good quality equipment, and I'm not talking the best of the best, you know, I have top quality gear. I predominantly use Bianchi AccuMold or AccuMold Elite for my current job. Don't take the assignment, guys. If your company provides it for you, that's great. Even when companies provide stuff for me, I may tend to want to go out and buy my own depending on what they're giving me. The way most people in security build their duty belts is they just a piece at a time, guys. Very rarely do people have the money to be able to go out and buy this amazing duty belt setup. I can tell you for a fact that this right here cost me about $70 by itself, and I actually only got it because I bought it from someone I knew. And then my duty belt setup, you're probably looking at another $150, you know, maybe $200, depending on what you are carrying. And so altogether, you're looking at $250, $300. Most people starting out in security don't have that type of money. And so, you know, biggest piece of advice to you guys is when you're getting started, you know, start piecing stuff together. Start with a really good duty belt. You know, there are plenty of options out there. Again, I tend to fanboy it up with Bianchi. I've never had any issues. I've had used their gear pretty much almost the whole time I've been in security. You know, if you're allowed to wear the nylon, go with the nylon option. Maybe go with AccuMold. I have to wear the basket weave, so I do AccuMold Elite. But doing these things bit by bit, you know, start with the belt, then maybe get yourself, you know, a glove pouch, and then maybe if you're certified to carry OC spray, carry an OC spray holder, and go down the line, you know, building your belt until you have the setup that you want. But very rarely are you going to be able to buy it all in one shot. If you can, that's great. But most people starting out in security, making, you know, maybe at minimum wage, maybe a buck or two more than minimum wage, aren't going to be able to do that. And so if you don't have the gear and you don't have the money to get yourself proper gear, you need to probably turn down an assignment, because that's going to possibly get you hurt down the line. And if your company has a problem with that, then what I'm saying is they probably don't care about you. The fact that they wouldn't either provide you the correct equipment, or that they wouldn't allow you the time to be able to accrue that correct equipment in order to do the assignment, and that make sure that you're comfortable with that. So that's kind of all I have for today, guys. I'll probably do another video hopefully next week on another topic. I've been one of my coworkers was actually pretty, you know, excited, and he likes the channel, and so he's been kind of feeding me ideas. This was one of his ideas. He wanted to do the firearms video first, but I kind of decided I'm going to give that a little more time and kind of make that one a really, really high quality one, guys. But if you have any comments you'd like to make or any other ideas for videos, throw them down in the comment section. I've really, you know, I may only have 31 subscribers, but I've really enjoyed the 31 that do watch, and some of the coworkers I know that watch. So like I said, if you like this, share it, people, guys. You know, if you're in the industry, share it. I mean, this could change someone's whole perspective on things. Subscribe, give it a like, and then go ahead at the very end of the video, go ahead and click on show you some additional videos. And thanks for watching, guys.